Welcome back to the system, part 5. What? So the cumulative knowledge from all of the previous videos has shown us there's a very few amount of people in this world who happen to own all of the global derivative wealth system. And these people also just so happen to own every other major corporation in existence globally today. We also know that it's a very high probability that they have corrupted key government officials to do their bidding. And they've done this through a gradual use of leveraged knowledge over time. Pressed their influence into our lives by using that underwritten boss's influence over their corporations by putting their fingerprint, their dirty fingerprint, on everything. So what exactly are they doing? Welcome to the system, part 5, where we break down what exactly they want. What are they doing? So we know based on the macros that there is a large economic downturn that is right around the corner based on every matrix that we've ever been able to use to be able to determine what is happening in the economic world. We know that all of these indicators are pointing towards a major recession right now. And we also know that the corporations who own everything, every single part of the financial market, we know that there's something coming and that they're hiding it. We know that the news, the media, the overexposure, the unnecessary information that is crammed down our throats by these major corporations who are ringing their bells and making all this loud noise. If you follow their advice, you are destined to be spinning your wheels forever, and they do this on purpose. And when you really look behind the scenes of what they're doing, the monetary policy, the quantitative easing, the expenditure of the budget, spending more on that minimum payment on their credit card than they ever have over time, and it's unsustainable. We know that they are creating inflationary measures by government spending. Since they can't loan the money into existence because we're going into a recession, they're doing it in the form of government spending. The milkshake theory. We know that on this path, it is a global dollar demise on a long enough time frame. And we know that if the dollar fails us, that we as a society are going to demand a new currency that works. What could it be? Have you ever heard of bank tokenization? Bank tokenization of your deposits are basically a precursor to a central bank digital currency. It is a tokenization, a digital tokenization, meaning that your dollar or credit is now applicable in their system as a credit-based system on their ledger, their digital ledger. If you think that it couldn't be happening right now, how would you know? How would you know if your bank used digital tokens rather than actual dollars right now through your debit and credit card? If you bank at Citibank, well, your deposits have been tokenized. If you bank at Bank of America, well, your deposit has been tokenized. If you're part of the global reserve system, part of the eurodollar system, meaning that you interact with any of these large banks or central banks through the SWIFT system, well, they have unlocked tokenization. The SEC at Duke University unveils tokenization for securities. The DTCC, all of our stocks, tokenization. So if you don't think that tokenization is a real thing, well, you might want to just take a look for yourself and see, because all of the major banks who are owned by the same people have been tokenizing our deposits, and they're working on a full advanced version. This full advanced version is a central bank digital currency. Remember when I talked about the large global central bank of the entire world being that called the BIS? Project M Bridge through the BIS, Global Central Bank Digital Currency System. Read the article for yourself. And if you look at the Atlantic Council, let's see what they say on the global digital currency map. Of the G20 countries, 19 of them are in advanced stages of CBDC. 134 countries and currency unions representing 98% of the global GDP are exploring CBDC. What does this tell you? Well, if the US dollar collapses because of a hyperinflationary event that is caused through direct manipulation from the government and the corporations, if that were to happen, society would demand a currency that works, and we need that fiat currency because we are not independent. We have been trained to be dependent on the government through years, through generations. We are very comfortable, and now we need them. And when the dollar fails, the CBDC is going to be just the thing to save us. Many people will say that they reject it, but I believe the opposite's going to happen. I believe just like the Antichrist, the world is going to accept it because it's going to be the easy way out, and they choose the deception over the truth. I'm going to put a link to all of these web pages into this video. Feel free to take a look for yourself and come to a reasonable conclusion based on the information that you gather, based on your information. This is just information gathering for you. So what are the benefits to having a central bank digital currency if you own everything? Why even do this? Well, it comes down to control. It comes down to absolute control over your spending. You won't be able to buy unless you have authorization to buy from the system, and you could be cut off like that no matter how rich or powerful you think you are. Especially if we're having an energy crisis, wouldn't it only make sense to just price you out of the market? Wouldn't it make sense that if you were that greedy in the first place to create a system this awful and this convoluted, that they did it methodically and technically? And anything I've ever seen done with precision and technique like this, I know is intentional. So why would a group of people do this? What could be their intention? Why are they doing this? Stay tuned for part 6, why, coming up next. Until then, have a blessed day.